Good evening. Welcome to Michigan. We're so glad you could come and be with us this evening. I'm the co-administrative director of the MSTEM Academy, and I'm also the director of the University of Michigan Women in Science and Engineering program. I'd like to give you a brief overview of the MSTEM Academy. Now, I know that you've all received a fact sheet, and we've answered a number of questions on that sheet about the program, but I'm going to expand on that a little bit. But first of all, however, I'd like to step back and give you a broader perspective. Graduates of the University of Michigan College of Engineering are highly prized. Recruiters from corporate America, graduate schools, the federal government all greatly value our graduates. And why is that? Well, there are several reasons, but this is what the recruiters tell us. First of all, our graduates are technically well trained. They're just very good engineers. Obviously, if you didn't have this good technical training, there'd be no point at all for recruiters to come. But the recruiters tell us that this is not sufficient. It's not enough just to be technically well trained. There are other characteristics that the engineer of the 21st century needs, and there are several of them. One of them is you have to have good communication skills. You have to know how to write. You have to know how to do presentations. You have to be able to communicate what it is that you're working on. Another one is teamwork. You have to know how to lead a team. You have to know how to be a member of a team. And they also include, and this is where we start getting into what we call the soft skills, but they're essential soft skills, is you have to be able to, while you're focusing on the technical, also be able to look at the bigger picture. And Professor Holloway mentioned this in his introduction. How do people fit into the engineering problems that you're trying to identify and solve? As an engineer, are you able to work with all sorts of people from all sorts of backgrounds and all sorts of cultures? Engineering more than ever is now an international enterprise. Are you able to recognize your customers' backgrounds and life experiences and understand how this will influence your engineering designs and outcomes? Are you able to recognize the value of diverse backgrounds in the engineering profession and make them an integral part of your career? And what do you bring from your own life experiences that will add a new dimension to the engineering workforce? Well, the Michigan STEM Academy is designed to identify and support the development of the 21st century engineer who will possess all of these skills and capabilities. We really want the entire package. So an obvious first question is, how did we identify you? And why did we invite you to be part of this program? Well, we look at a variety of things, as you can imagine. First of all, we look for academic excellence. That's the University of Michigan after all. But being Michigan, this part is easy. You obviously have already achieved high academic excellence, or you wouldn't have been admitted to the College of Engineering. But we don't take this for granted. We do our checking too. And this is an easy quantitative process. We can look at test scores and GPAs and class rankings and the number of AP courses that you take. And to be invited from MSTEM, you've already passed all of this with flying colors. But what about the other characteristics that I've told you that the recruiters feel are essential in a graduating engineer? And this is the more qualitative part of our process. We have access to your applications to Michigan. We can read your essays, we can read your letters of recommendations, and we even put an essay question on our application. And what we're looking for is something unique in your background, something that makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd, something that indicates to us that you possess what it takes to be an engineering graduate that everyone will want to hire in 4 or 5 years, based on all the characteristics I've just described. So what are these things we're looking for? Well, they're probably different for each and every one of you, and it's probably a combination of many things, not just one. We look at leadership skills as well as the ability to work in a group. We look at the community you come from, urban, suburban, rural. What unique life experiences have you had? Have you traveled? Have you done community service? Have you worked in a family business? What courses did you take compared to the other students in your school? Did you win a prize at a science fair? Was there a particularly challenging time in your life, and how did you overcome it? The list goes on and on. And as I said, all of you have had something in your application that stood for a group, something that said to us that this is a student who has what it takes to be the complete engineer of the 21st century. We've identified a couple of hundred students who meet our criteria, and we expect to have places for 40.